to all of those of you listening at home right now, welcome to the Black Tower Podcast, a Wheel of Time podcast.
Oh, what's up?
My name is Daniel. I am your Amankan Male. I wave the banner and sing the songs. And I am joined by my two illustrious co-hosts.
Ooh, I'm illustrious now. You know me. My name is Josh, and I am your Sorovan Mahale, bringing you the sweet, sweet, soothing sounds of lightning.
And you'll never see me coming.
And I am your other host, Andrew, the Vajan Mahal, with the white focus on the flame t-shirt.
Yeah,
Luckily, my webcam doesn't continuously show my nipples through the shirt, apparently. You just noticed that.
Maybe you're just really excited to be wearing the shirt.
Get them nips.
Maybe, I mean, certain things happen when you focus.
That's true.
What?
We're getting bombed! Oh my god.
What just happened? I was uninformed of this occurrence.
Hello. Okay,
nobody tells me.
I wasn't prepared for this. I didn't wash my hair or anything.
Me neither. I've been doing yard work today.
What?
Nice.
Awesome.
Y'all weren't supposed to be informed.
Surprise.
I like the surprise. This is freaking excellent.
Yeah, so you remember how I said I really needed us to record Saturday because I'm going to be super busy next week and not able to do anything?
It's my fault.
Yeah, that's a complete lie. It's to bring...
I see.
Damn it, Amber. How dare you surprise me like this?
I'm glad you're actually surprised because Tracy and I thought that maybe we might have made an oopsie.
She means me. That's
nope.
She's being really nice. It was my fault. And she was like,
guys
by
are
the way.
Hey, I'm just gonna take a credit for one of Josh's mistakes here because we're just all taking credit for everybody else's thing.
Please.
Hi,
like
I'm
this.
Andrew, and I'm gonna lie to you about needing to record this week at a time because it's actually for somebody else. And I'm Tracy, and I'm gonna go ahead and make a mistake that Josh and Daniel aren't going to even notice, and then Amber's gonna take credit for it later.
Okay, so I
Mm-hmm.
gotta ask. We
Thank
have
you.
surprise guests.
Hmm.
Do we have a surprise topic as well?
Ooh.
Nope.
Ooh.
I don't think so. I
No.
thought it was
Okay.
Well, actually, I guess the
Just
question
wanted
is,
to make sure.
Tracy and Amber,
That's a
have you
smart
been
answer.
given the topic, or?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure.
That flow of
It would be a
information went the
surprise
other
to
way.
you guys.
Yeah, that flow of information
know
went
what?
the other way around.
We actually
Gotcha.
talked about the idea of like putting together topics or like asking people to put together topics for us that we can just randomly pick for an episode.
Oh,
'cause
yeah.
I think that'd be really funny to just like on the fly try to figure out what the fuck we want to talk about. I think that'd be really
I love
fun.
it.
I don't know if you know this about us, Amber and Tracy. You probably do, seeing as how you've worked with us a couple of times. But that's like every week.
Mm-hmm.
We did that when we started. It was always like hop in, take the first 5 minutes to be like, hey guys, what are we talking about? And Josh had a list of just
job,
topics that
Josh.
were just like,
Well
Good job, Josh.
well,
I don't anymore.
I was gonna say yes and no.
I've
because
passed that mantle on to Andrew, and now it's me going, what are we talking about?
well,
Yeah.
Well,
like
we've already introduced who we are.
Yeah.
Most people should know who both of you are, but
They might.
as is tradition, go ahead and tell everybody hi and what you do and where you can be found on the interwebs.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, everybody. Yeah, hi. Do you want to do this? Do you want me to do this?
Go for it.
Okay, cool.
Daniel
so-
left. He's like, I've seen enough.
He's like, I've been on the road to Tar Valon. I really could care less. Thanks, Daniel. You're the best.
incorrect.
Incorrect.
I was flipping you off while I was saying it. Don't you worry. All right. This is actually exactly who we are.
Yes.
So Amber and I do a podcast together called the Road to Tar Valon. We have had fun bouncing around and doing like various topics, but right now we are doing a recap reread of Eye of the World. We actually started with New Spring and we still come back to it all the time because it's just such a lovely book.
I see Andrew is like looking around
Yes.
abashedly.
I have heard tale of this book.
Sorry, Andrew. Every time it gets brought up, I'm like, sorry, Andrew.
Oh, it's fine. I love it.
Sorry.
I love that one of our one of our patrons did a spoiler warning that straight up called his ass out.
It does. Yeah.
It
I like
stings
that
every
one.
time.
It
and it's
works.
great.
Because when
You
I
may
finally
find yourself promising to read New Spring and then never getting around to it.
Well, it works out because whenever I do eventually read it, we'll just get Register Nurture, re-record that part to say promising to shave your legs and never ever doing it.
Oh,
Ooh.
So
It's gonna happen.
to be fair, there was currency
Hold
exchange for the
out.
leg shave. There was no
Just
currency
the calf?
exchange for me to read.
Just to the calf, right?
It was just to the calf, but the longer he waits,
Turnt-
the further up
turnt
it goes.
calves. Hashtag
Calves.
turnt calves.
It keeps it
It's
raises
happening.
a
It's
centimeter
going to happen.
every
He's at
week.
mid-thigh right now.
Yeah.
There's so much happening right now.
Don't worry,
He's gonna
there's a
get up
section
to,
in the
like,
middle.
his chest.
Well,
at
there's
some
a
point.
section
Tar
in the middle.
Valon, thanks so
We're gonna
much for coming to the Black Tower today.
Sure.
You guys,
Yeah.
you guys are awesome.
Detoured.
Little
Detoured.
bit.
For
I'm
having
talking
us.
about my legs.
Yeah.
It is
The
a little
truth.
bit.
Yeah.
It's a true
Do
topic.
we ever have you guys ever decided from what direction you guys are actually going to Tar Valon?
No.
Okay.
It says Road to Tar Valon.
The
Yeah.
joke is that
Also,
all of
where
our
around they're
maps,
going to.
yeah. The
Yeah.
joke is all of our maps are from before the breaking, so
Yeah.
we've been
Just
Very
saying.
You're actually
confused.
coming from Shara, and you're just taking, you're literally just going all
Yeah.
around Randland.
They're going the long
It's
way
like,
round.
it's a spiral pattern. We're hoping that by the
Mhm.
time we spiral through the Westlands, we'll get to Tar Valon.
I like it.
Well,
You'll
see, it's
make
like
it to
it's like in
vagina.
North
not the
Carolina.
journey. It's
It's
not
about
the
the journey.
destination. It's the journey.
Yeah.
That's
It's
right.
like in
That's
North
right.
Carolina, all roads lead to Raleigh. Georgia, all roads lead to Atlanta. You just keep making turns, and magically one day you find yourself back in the capital.
Do you know the way
That
to
sounds
San
handy.
Jose?
No.
Absolutely
West.
not.
Mm-mm.
West.
Not as much as I got. I go west until I hit water, and then figure out if I need to go north or south.
That's right. Accurate.
So what is our topic today? Do we
Mhm.
talk
Oh,
about
yeah.
the topic?
Actually,
excited.
before we get
I'm
to
excited.
the topic, again, speaking of spoiler warnings, we don't necessarily need to play the one that we mentioned, but we do need to give the people some protection. We do need to make sure that nobody gets spoiled when they should not. So we should throw on some full series spoilers for this particular episode.
Yes. And for this one, we're going to go to the sexiest chef in Randland. It's not Randland. The third best swordman in Malkir. Rob of Malkir Talks. Take it away, Rob.
Welcome to the Black Tower. This is your spoiler condom. If you have not read the complete works of Robert Jordan, The Wheel of Time, books 1 to 14, and also New Spring, Big Bad Book of White Art, and The Companion, you are at risk of being spoiled. Spoilers come with side effects. These side effects may include headache, nausea, vomiting, death,
Yes.
dizziness,
Oh, sorry. Yep.
vaginal or penile eruptions and ejaculations, dysentery, cardiac arrhythmia, mild heart explosions, varicose veins, darkened stool, darkened souls, more vomiting, arthritis, hemorrhoids or diabetes, virginity, mild discomfort,
That's my favorite one.
vampirism or werewolfism, gender inequality for the whole planet. Spontaneous dental hydroplosion, sugar highs, even more vomiting. Or maybe
That's a
just
lot of vomiting.
a mild rash. If you cannot deal with
Or
these
a road
side
rash,
effects,
as we've
please let me know. For fear of spoilers, you have been warned.
Can I just say, Andrew, at the very
So
beginning of
happy.
this, when it started,
So happy.
you actually did a great Rob impression
Hmm.
with the. It was very Rob. Rob, you'll need to actually watch just the beginning of this.
I can't do it.
Right before the spoiler warning to see Andrew's impression, because it was spot on.
I have to bring it down a little because mine is a little like too crazy eye. Just
Oh yeah. Okay.
that's
that
the like
help?
you just said what to me. Look, just
That's like The Rock.
It really is.
it's like the opposite of like every time somebody goes crazy in anime. You know, you always get the forehead like super zoomed in, distorted
Yeah.
look. I just go the other
Yeah.
way.
It
Well, I
has
mean, you
about
have
the
to
same
just get-
effect.
The beard is
Just so
the
you
most
know.
important part of it. Just.
That's the threatening part. I'm pointing at you twice with my two longer sections of the beard.
There you
Just-
go. There you go.
And your steely
it.
eyes.
That's right.
And
Yes.
you steal hands.
Yes, that's good. Okay.
All right.
What are we
Oh, look-
talking about? What are we
Oh, look
talking
at
We're talking
about?
about. Let's
people,
do
look at
this.
People.
Yep. Now that we've given people the protection that they so desperately need to make sure that they don't catch anything from us, like road rash or black tower taint.
Or vomiting and more vomiting and then even
Or
more
virginity.
vomiting.
Yes.
Or virginity.
That would be
Well,
terrible.
You got your road rash
How
on
does
my
that
taint.
even work?
You got your taint on
I
my
just-
road rash.
No.
I think my favorite part is the
Sounds terribly painful.
Mhm.
if we currently have
Hmm.
gender inequality for the whole planet,
It means too many people have been spoiled.
should we actually just spoil
Hmm.
more people? Maybe it'll have
Yes.
the opposite effect.
Yes, let's spoil everyone.
Couldn't
You think
hurt.
I'm kidding?
Spoilers.
Wouldn't that be nice? Oh, maybe not.
Wouldn't it be nice if we spoiled all the people in the
What kind
whole
of spoiling are we
damn
talking
world?
about? Are we going to send
Go,
them
Daniel.
fuzzy slippers or are we going to ruin the series for them? I think that's important to
Both.
define.
We're gonna
Both.
send them fuzzy slippers with spoilers in them.
Is-
Well, I mean, if our Patreon makes it to like 6
it'll be,
billion people,
By
we
the
can
way,
probably do
Egwene
that.
dies. That's what the spoiler is.
Oh no.
Oh my god, just like crystalline slippers and be like, this is what Egwene looks like now, bitch.
You know, that segment is a true roller coaster because you get the very high of Galwyn dying and then the very low of Egwene dying.
It is.
Oh, painful.
So it's like, oh, thank God, finally. Oh,
That's the one.
Episode topic.
That's the one big spoiler I got. Episode topic: Dry
Well,
washes
and that's
hands
actually
like
not
seven
even
ball
a
work.
horrible transition in some ways, because
did you know that the Black Tower Podcast has its very own website? No? Well, then make sure you head on over to www.blacktowerpod.com for even more Black Tower Podcast tainty goodness. On our site, you can find all of our social media links conveniently located towards the bottom left if you're on a computer. There are links to the Facebook page, our Twitter, our YouTube, and our Instagram. So you can keep up to date with us by finding all of our social media there. Also on our website, you can find a link to the forums that we have, where we have all kinds of discussions and, as Morshadi has done plenty of times, run naked through the forums. No worries, there's no pictures. We turned off the cameras for that. You can find links to Black Tower Podcast merch, both on New Creations by Jen and from Spreadshirt, where you can find any of our designs that we've ever put out, and you can go and get yourself whatever kind of merchandise you want, be it shirts, glasses, aprons for cooking, bags, hats, buttons, anything that you want, you can find in between the two merch shops that we have. The website also has a very quick and accessible link for our Discord, where you can come and join all of the fantastic tainty discussions that we have in our Discord server. We do have sections for spoiler and non-spoiler content, so you can come and enjoy something for you if you have finished a series, or something for you if you haven't finished a series. Another key feature is our Dragonsworn on demand section, where you can automatically see the most recent 5 videos from our YouTube that will play on an automatic playlist for you on the website. A quick button to get to our YouTube there as well, and you can just listen to the most recent 5 episodes that we have posted on Podbean. If you're curious about events and things we have coming up, we also have the Black Tower calendar, where you can go and look and see when we generally do our live Patreon recordings, when our episodes go live, and any events and things that we have coming up that we can put on the calendar. A quick link to our Patreon, where you can join and get access to all kinds of different content, including pre-recordings, and depending on the tier, early access to episodes, shout outs, all that kind of fun stuff. And of course, we will update the Patreon whenever we do have the updates ready to go live. We are still working on that. That is coming as of right now. Make sure you head on over to our website, where you can literally get access to anything that we have and we put out.
We are talking about the occult in the Wheel of Time. Now,
Yes.
this is a little bit interesting because in our world, since we do not currently have something that is, the one power or sort of, true magic or anything like that, basically anything to do with magic in some ways is occult.
Yeah.
But in the Wheel of Time, there does need to be a little bit of a separation, because occult is more than just magic, at least in
Absolutely.
the world of the Wheel of Time.
I thought we were doing the
Mhm.
White Cloaks next month.
No, that's
Yeah,
a cult,
right.
not occult.
Oh,
But
There was part of me that thought that the topic might give away that maybe Andrew didn't think of this, because I didn't
mean,
know how much
I-
Daniel would believe I thought of the idea of occultism in the Wheel of Time.
so
Andrew,
Daniel, did
I-
it give it away?
I love you, and I love that you think that. And that you think so little of yourself that you couldn't come up with
You have
that topic.
no idea.
I want to tell you right now, Andrew, I believe in you. I think that I absolutely thought that you had just come up with that topic and had just been like, hey guys, I think this would be really
Hey,
cool
guys.
to talk about.
Well, this time your faith was misplaced. This was all
Good.
road to Tar Valon.
Apparently.
Because I'm really good at
I am
planning surprises and
discovering
getting
that
guests
now.
on. And
Apparently.
kind of bad at figuring out what we're going to talk about. I'm pretty sure every guest we've ever had can say, yes, they've asked me to be guests. We didn't know what we were talking about until a week or two before. Except for
So-
maybe
That
5.
sounds about right.
Occultism in the Wheel of Time, to me,
Yes, this is.
Well, should we frame what occult,
What it-
when we say
Yeah,
occultism,
let's
what we
frame
mean?
it.
I would like to do that.
Yes.
Go for it.
Oh no! I don't want to. I don't want to
Go,
do that
Tracy,
myself.
go.
But I
You would
want.
like
Tracy,
it to be done, but you don't necessarily want to do it. Yeah, no, I
I
know.
would-
I think it's
I-
kind
No,
of.
I would
it's
like
kind
us
of
to all
hard.
contribute.
It is a little bit hard.
Right,
as
Which is
exactly.
why-
Because
Like
I'm gonna-
you're pulling from things like spirituality to
Mhm. Witchcraft.
magic to any of these kind of topics that it
That's
really
why
encompasses a lot.
I'm going to outsource to Britannica.
really encompasses a lot.
for
Yeah.
Ah,
occultism.
fuck
Yeah,
yeah!
definitions.
All right. Sorry to interrupt whatever you may be watching or listening to, whatever topic we're covering right now, but we absolutely have to take a moment to talk about and thank our friend Josh's better half and the longtime sponsor and supporter of the Black Tower Podcast. Of course, this is the Crystal Barista. Whether you seek crystals and minerals and the like for their cleansing, healing, and positive vibes, or you just enjoy them and think they look pretty neat, you can find anything you could possibly want with crystals and minerals here at crystalbarista.com. With everything from individual pieces that can be ordered to monthly subscription boxes, there is something here for absolutely everyone, for every occasion, for whatever you could possibly want. There's no way you can't find something that you would like in her store. On the website crystalbarista.com, you can browse by different categories, including the subscription boxes, minerals and fossils, crystal healing, stone jewelry, all the way to just the raw slabs of whatever may be being sold. And if you're more budget conscious and you want to look at anything that is limited by price, you can look for anything that is from $0 to almost $25, $25 to $50, and then anything that may be over $50. Now, if you are a rock hound and you want to get some really good tools to help you in your hounding, the Crystal Barista provides those as well. And you can find those on the same website. It's a very user-friendly website. You can find absolutely anything you need for your rock hounding, mineral, crystal, fossil needs. Now, going through the website, you can also find links to the Crystal Barista's Twitter, the Crystal Barista's Facebook, as well as the Crystal Barista's Instagram, and a couple other things. Make sure you go and follow the Crystal Barista on Twitter at rockpick, ROCKPICK, to get updates as they come out and to be up to date on what exactly is going on with the Crystal Barista. She does like to throw up things on Twitter that may be available for you to get at slightly cheaper prices, but more commonly you can find that over on the Crystal Barista Facebook. So again, same name on Facebook, ROCKPICK, and you'll be looking for the page that says Crystal Barista, formerly Rockpick Legend Company. Facebook is a good place for updates for the Crystal Barista. And if you just like to look at pictures and kind of see everything that's going on mixed in with some updates, hit up the Crystal Barista on Instagram. You can find her at the Crystal Barista. Again, that's barista with one R, BARISTA, which I think is the only way to spell it. We all know how much trouble I have with spelling. So make sure you go over and check out what the Crystal Barista has to offer and tell her that the Black Tower podcast sent you.
I like it.
So occultism talks about various theories and practices involving a belief in and knowledge or use of supernatural forces or beings. Such beliefs or practices that are principally magical or divinatory have occurred throughout all human societies throughout recorded history. The West, the term occultism has acquired an intellectually and morally pejorative overtones that do not, they're not the same in other societies where the practice and beliefs concerned do not run counter to the prevailing worldview. These practices tend to center on the presumed ability of the practitioner to manipulate natural laws for their own or their client's benefit. Such practices tend to be regarded as evil only when they also involve the breaking of moral laws. And again, that's more of a kind of westernized view of occult practices. Excuse me. Thank you, Voodoo Ranger Imperial L, for exercising your imperial authority over my capacity for bourbon.
I need to be
My gastroenteritis.
So some anthropologists have argued that it's not possible to make a clear-cut distinction between magic, which is a principal component of occultism, and religion. And this may be well true of religious systems of some non-literate societies. I don't like the phrase non-literate societies because of the negative connotation.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
But
I don't think you have to take
I would
it.
agree with that.
I'm just a messenger. Go talk to Britannica.com.
No. What I was
Okay.
actually
No,
going
not
to say
you.
is, I will actually. No, what I was going to say is sometimes it is difficult to define something as exactly what it is. Like
Absolutely.
not every culture has a literate culture, and that's totally fine if that's what they are. So they have a different way of keeping their records. They probably still maintain oral traditions, and that's super cool.
So it's like the
I think that Andrew
literal
sort of
definition of non-literate
exactly.
versus the negative connotation.
Exactly.
Mhm.
I think
Exactly.
Andrew hit the nail on the head with, I don't like that phrase, not
Yes.
because it's incorrect.
Yes.
But because it makes me feel a certain way
Yes.
based on connotations along the lines of lesser than,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
which is not really true.
Right. Yeah.
It's the denotative versus the connotative.
Yes.
I just wanted
But
to
yeah.
like
utterly.
give it a little
I-
academic spin and be
Yeah.
like, it's cool to take it in a
We're
literal
educated
fashion.
guys.
It is. Yeah. Please do take
So-
it in literal.
So
So,
this
yeah, I-
actually brings up a pretty good point, though, because in the Wheel of Time, we do have. So
Mm.
I would even talk about literacy. When you talk about literacy, is as having like tiers or levels, right?
Mhm.
We are, as a human race, more literate now than we were 100 years ago.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And it's because we can share ideas and we can
Mhm.
share
absolutely.
information
Yeah. And
instantly
institutions
around the
stopped
world.
publishing books only in Latin that nobody spoke anymore.
Precisely. So you've
Wait, they
got
did that
a
100
really
years ago? Man, I was.
I think it was
Exactly.
a little further behind.
This is the 100-year anniversary.
I was thinking Gutenberg, but whatever, we're cool.
You know, I mean,
Going. It's
but no, it's
fine.
interesting because, you know, you've got in the Wheel of Time, you've got a society of people. When we start out on the series, you get a society of people where you can have a village completely isolated for decades.
Yeah.
And nobody knows and nobody cares.
Haven't seen
But-
a tax collector in generations.
Towards the end of
Not
the
my king.
series,
I
now
didn't
you've
vote
got
for him.
now you've got gateways, and now
Now
you've
being
got
repressed.
instantaneous
Being
transferring of information. So I would even say that their literacy increases or advances as the story progresses.
Well,
Which-
and Rand establishes those universities to bring people
Yeah,
to like a central location for learning and working together, which is
So-
admirable. And it's weird that one didn't really exist before that. Like, what were they?
It's funny that stereotypically you talk like, so Rand is like country bumpkin. All right.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's the
yeah.
country bumpkin ruler that comes in and is like, y'all need to know how to read them their symbols on that their page and do
I
some
sure
literacy
wish
for
I
themselves.
was herding sheep with my dad.
But
Why?
isn't that usually the people that don't have the most resources? Once they get it, they're like, yeah, this should be a
everyone
thing.
should have
Well,
access.
and-
to it.
Yeah.
And I will say that again, I'm actually not that surprised that in the world that they live in, that there isn't some centralized place for that, because they do live in a very
You would
hierarchical
think
society.
Tar Valon.
Yes, that was
No, no,
exactly
you
what I
wouldn't.
was thinking.
Are you kidding?
But
Tar
I
Valon
would.
is immediately like, no, you can't know secrets. Stop it. Get out of
Well,
here. You don't want
well,
you.
Age of Heroes Tar Valon versus.
Sorry,
you
yes.
know.
Age of Legends Tar Valon would
You have
absolutely.
the sadly age-old historical fact of a illiterate and uneducated people are far easier to
Yes.
rule and control than an educated
Yes.
and literate populace.
Absolutely.
Yes. And so I think that when it comes right down to it,
Looking
and,
at you,
and this
Andor.
is one of those moments where
Mhm.
I'm going to be hard on the Aes Sedai, but also
Go
understand,
for it.
because when it comes right down to it, Aes Sedai are insanely distrustful. And they want to be as manipulative as possible because that's wherein their power lies. And so again, I get that not teaching the whole world all of their secrets and all of their knowledge and all of their history and everybody how to read and everything.
They don't
like
even
that.
teach. I mean, they don't even teach the other Ajas their secret weave.
Right.
I mean, there's
Exactly.
already.
All right,
There's
then.
so
Keep your
much
secrets.
distrust in the
Yeah.
White Tower. And so it's one of those things where, like, I'm not surprised that the Aes Sedai definitely don't want to set something like that up, even though, again, it is a little disappointing,
Yeah.
but it is
Yeah.
also understandable.
Well,
And then, of course, when you start going out to major cities and the ruling class there,
Mhm.
we just talked about the fact that you want commoners to be commoners. If you have the resources
Mhm.
to teach your children how to
Mhm.
read, you want to keep it for you, because the second that the commoners and the peasants start to rise up, then you get situations where they're no longer peasants and they don't
That's
do
right.
exactly what you tell them to
I mean,
all
well,
the
that's-
time because you're my lord. Like,
I mean,
come
that's
on.
quintessentially medieval society, right?
exactly.
Yes.
All the lords and the governors, we need people to grow crops. Well,
The caste
how do we make sure
system,
we
yeah.
keep people
Mhm.
growing crops? Well, if that's all they know how to do, then that's all they will do because that's all they can do.
Which,
And so
you know-
you don't distribute, in like our society or our world, real world times, you don't distribute copies of the Bible in with the common language of where you live. You keep it in Latin that most people, except for the nobles and the priests and stuff, can't or don't read.
Yep.
Well, and so, it's really interesting too, because this actually fosters an environment in which organizations like the Occult have the ability
Right?
to grow.
Mhm.
It's a very fertile environment for organizations like the Occult, which is why, in the books, there's a dark friend at every freaking turn.
Yeah.
Because throughout,
even when it's
Go
not
ahead.
an actual dark friend, if you're a white cloak,
Wow.
everyone's a dark friend.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
And this is, I think when we're talking about the occult, like the first thing that my mind goes to is the Children of the Light.
Same.
And this is
They
just
are-
Surprise, surprise.
well,
they
this is
are
just-
kind of culty, though.
well,
Well,
They're
It's two
entirely
different-
culty.
They're a
It's
It's
cult.
just a
not-
question
It
of whether they
practices
are
the occult.
occulty.
It's also there, like one of the things that I really like about Robert Jordan is how often things are historically based when you're looking for it. And I think when we did our White Cloak episode, we were talking about how they're a cross between Crusaders
Templars?
and the Templars. Yeah. Like there's a very, even down to like what they wear. It's like,
Oh yeah.
those things, it's blazingly obvious, but it's also
Blazingly.
obviously, oh, I'm funny and I don't even know it.
Just take credit for it. Just be like, yeah.
I did. I'm funny without knowing it. That's awesome.
Make all the puns and
Anyway.
then claim credit after.
Yes.
what I do.
Okay, I will.
But
Regardless,
yeah, no, it's
what I'm saying is that like something. I lost my train of thought.
I'm totally there with
This
you.
is why
'cause
you're
again,
still on the road.
it's-
We keep losing the
Yeah,
path.
I know. This is. I'm the one that slows Amber down all the time. She's
Guys, look, there's a cute bunny
No.
in that field.
damn it. No, I'm just kidding.
well, with the white cloaks, I think their only main group that's powerful enough to actually do any damage is Tar Valon. So
Mhm.
they are laser focused on the White Tower as one, but secondly, they kind of fall into this weird, almost religious type group, even though
There
in the
really
Wheel of
isn't
Time-
an established religion
Right.
that they fall into. It's
Well-
it's that book, The Way of the Light.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna
Yeah.
say that's my favorite part about the White Cloaks is
Mhm.
that it starts on the idea of following the creator, who
Right.
is,
Mhm.
represented by the sun,
Mhm.
this, blazing light of truth, this, amazing beacon of hope, blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah. But then it's not actually that. And I don't necessarily want to call out any real world religions. But again, when you start going ahead and following a doctrine by one single entity
Mhm.
that's
Mhm.
telling you entirely how to live your life, and
Mhm.
maybe came to America after he died and your savior maybe came to America after he died in Israel and whatnot, then maybe like you're not doing it right.
That's a very
knows?
watered down definition of that religion.
Maybe.
Since that's not what we're talking about, I'm not going to
Maybe.
delve into that. So, like the White
No.
Cloaks very much,
Maybe.
the White Cloaks very much fit into that divinatory aspect of occultism, right?
Yes.
Because
Yes.
it's all the same way that pharaohs ruled, that kings ruled in England.
Yep.
It was all divine providence. That
Yeah.
had
They,
the divine
they
right
are
to rule.
on a lifelong witch hunt. That's
Yeah.
their, that's
Look at the
that's it.
names. Look at the names they use. Oh, where we try everybody is known as the Dome of Truth. We are the
Right.
children of the light. Everything is orchestrated in a way to implicitly make you think that this is correct, this is just, this is
Mhm.
right.
Mhm.
And it's only once you experience their actions where you start to question it. And generally, by the time you're experiencing their actions, you're either experiencing rule by fear or death by blood
Yes.
loss.
I was
Yeah.
actually thinking Rule by Fear, like in
Yeah.
particular the White Cloaks.
Yeah.
That's just what they do. They intimidate and they make people afraid of them. And if they can't do it, they pass them over to the questioners. And good Lord, no, thank you.
Well, this is
You mean the
mainly what the
Inquisitors?
church did in the
Mhm.
Holy Roman Empire.
Exactly,
This is
exactly.
very
It
common.
is. Well, and like I actually,
It's sadly and
I took-
embarrassingly common, but most
Well-
people
Yeah.
couldn't read. So
yes.
Oh, it's super human nature to sort of have people who fall to this particular thing of the incredibly self-righteous, my way or the highway to the nth degree.
Mhm.
And damn anyone who won't actually follow that way. I
Mhm.
have the power to either change you or eliminate you, and if you won't do it yourself, I will exercise that power to
I will
change
do
you
it
or eliminate you.
This-
Well, I mean,
and this
the
actually
vast-
brings
Go ahead,
up-
Josh.
Oh, sorry. I was just going
No,
to say,
no.
this actually brings up a really good kind of a point of where the Children of the Light, because it's another example of an organization who went, men channel bad, break world. We don't like channeling. Channeling is now touched by the Dark One and therefore bad. We will be the Children of the Light and do good and make sure that nobody falls under that again.
Except they
Okay,
never
whatever.
made the male distinction.
Exactly.
Yes, but I think
And
it's implicit
the other-
in some ways. Like,
Well,
I don't
Well,
think that.
the breaking of the world was such a huge deal for every
Mhm.
society that
Absolutely.
I mean that's kind of
yeah, but
where
at the time,
all of
everybody
this-
was
But where
called
they
Aes
lose
Sedai.
their way.
So they blame
where
all
they
Aes
lose their
Sedai, not
way-
just male Aes Sedai.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
And where
They
they
lose-
lose
Good
their
point.
way is they stop saying, you've done an evil in the name of the Dark One.
Mhm.
And they start saying, you've done an evil, therefore you're a dark friend.
Yeah.
Yes.
And as
Well,
we know, it's not
they-
always that cut and dry. I mean, for
It's
instance,
rarely that cut and dry. Yeah.
yeah,
Well, it's kind of
Yeah.
like
Almost
anyone
never.
who can touch the source shouldn't do it unless you're the
Sure.
creator. Like
I mean, by the
that's
time
it.
the books,
Yeah,
by
Hands
the time the
down.
books
Yeah.
pick up, they don't even say you've done an evil.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
you don't agree with us. Therefore,
exactly.
you are evil.
exactly.
Mhm.
Therefore,
Well,
it is
so-
our religious and righteous obligation to exterminate you or convert you.
So I was
Because
going
they're
to
very
say
quick
that
to
that's
say
actually
no one is so far lost to the shadow they can't be brought to the light.
Mhm.
And then bringing you to
Exactly.
the light is the gleam of their sword as they stab you in the back.
Yeah, I was
You
going to say
fucking
that
bastards.
I feel like there are a number of roads that they went down there. Of originally, it was okay, cool. The breaking was this horrible, terrible, traumatic experience for everyone in the world,
Mhm.
and it was caused by channeling. Okay, cool. Well, that means that no one should be allowed to channel anymore. If you touch the source, you are breaking the rules because the creator is the only one who should actually use magic. People should not be trusted with
Wait,
it.
you mean you can't
Then-
pray the channeling away?
Ouch. But then, it goes a step further than that, because I'm sure that it started with channeling and anything else that was touched by the Dark One.
All I
Then
can
you
think of is
start
Rand
getting
going, I
down-
promise I won't do it. I won't channel anymore. And they're like,
Yeah, right.
bro.
No
I
one
made
believes
myself sad.
Do we need to give you some electroshock therapy, Rand? So then you get the step down from that, which is just okay, well, what things are actually defined as evil? What things are actually related to the Dark One? This, and this. Great. Okay, those are the commandments that
Mhm.
people aren't allowed to break. Then you go a step further, which is, I am a white cloak. Therefore, I get to decide what those rules are in the moment. And if you do anything that pisses me off, now you're a dark friend.
And not to
Now
mention, they just
you're
kind of
breaking one of those
steamroll.
rules.
They kind of just steamroll themselves throughout cities and try and plant
Yeah.
their flag wherever they can. So they've got something in this.
They're-
You know what
they're
I mean?
Messiah.
It's not-
It's a Messiah
Antagonistic,
complex.
and they do that on
It is.
purpose. Yeah.
Yes.
It's a Messiah complex. The entirety of the White Cloaks that we see in the series until, and I mean, it's not cut and dry line. It's like a jagged line that's
Yeah.
getting better. But when Gallet takes over, is entirely based off Messiah complex. We are here to save the world. Only we can save the world. No one else
Yep.
knows what I know. We're the greatest organization. Only we can fix what's wrong. Nobody fixes like we fix. And they're fucking right.
You're gonna get so tired of fixing. We're gonna fix
Yeah.
so much. You're
Yeah.
gonna get tired of fixing.
Yes.
And the Sean Chan are gonna pay for it.
I am
Speaking of the
definitely not
Sean
saying I made
Chen,
an illusion to
be
somebody,
huge. Ooh,
but I
that's
made an illusion
actually-
to somebody.
That's a good switch.
Yeah, I feel like
Switch? Am I on bottom now?
yeah.
Sorry, involuntary response.
No, I just think that
I just don't even know how to respond to that when you follow
Just
it
let
up
it go.
involuntary
Just let it go.
response. I'm finished.
There
I'm
are
finished.
things that come out of Andrew's mouth that you just want to go ahead and
I don't. I'm good. I'm good. Amber, please.
Well, with the Sean
Sean
Chen,
Chen.
I feel like they're probably one of the most like occult societies within
Oh,
the
yeah.
time because they have
Oh,
their
yes.
doomsayer, they
Yeah.
have their own prophecies
Mhm.
and their own
Truth speakers.
superstitions of
Mhm.
things that and it's kind of one of these situations where since we don't really get a lot of them right in the beginning, so it kind of like creeps up on you, but as soon as we get to know Tuan and what is it, if you see this animal doing this, it's a bad
Mhm.
omen.
You have to-
and
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's another great example of divinatory.
You have to do the hand drive? What?
Yes.
Vogue.
That too. Either
Yes,
is
you have to
acceptable.
vogue.
If you
But there's-
see a fox and it's raiding a hen house, you must vogue.
Yes.
And
I
if
think
it's
Tuan
running
would be
away
down
from
for
a hen
that.
house, you must hand drive. And if
But
it's a
it's
flock of
divinatory.
ravens raiding a hen house, then you need to throw salt over your left shoulder.
Yeah, but theirs is divinatory as well because it's all
Yeah.
a perception that these omens are divine signs of the future, and
Mhm.
only those that pay attention and are worthy and are knowledgeable enough will know what they mean.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and of course, I have to admit that is also goes back a little bit to the who are the people that we see actually sort of paying attention to those signs
Oh, you
and
mean the
doing those
educated and
rituals
wealthy?
and whatnot. The educated and the wealthy. It's the blood.
Ah, it's almost like we've seen
And-
this before.
I feel like, I mean, again, we don't actually get that much information about the day-to-day lives of Sean Chan, lowest
Land.
caste. But
Mhm.
I mean, it definitely feels like most of them just run around being like, cool, sheep, cool, hay, cool, whatever it is that I'm
Mhm.
growing or raising or whatever. And these signs are totally, I don't even know most of them. And the ones that I do know, I don't give a shit about because they're not for me. They're for the blood.
You've never watched DBZ Abridged, right, Daniel?
No, I haven't.
Josh, I know you have.
Yeah.
Amber, Tracy, I don't know if you have.
What?
It's
Dragon
called
Ball
Dragon Ball
Z
Z Abridged parody. If you never
It's a
watched Dragon
parody
Ball Z, you
cartoon.
probably never. Anyway, there's a section where there's a planet that everybody there has some affinity for being able to see the future, and there's
Okay.
an episode where they're making fun kind of that ability and of the series, where you just see the planet from space, and all you hear is all these voices shouting out things that are going to happen in the future, like Goku becomes a Super Saiyan, Gohan's the strongest in the universe, but he never fucking trains. What this makes me think of is like all these people shouting out these prophetic things, and I mean, I have an inherent problem with foretelling, or not in the series foretelling, but the
Right.
ideas of it.
Yeah.
Because if you're super vague, like there's going to be an earthquake today. Yeah, there's like hundreds every day.
The thing that I hate
Is
and
there
love-
anyone in the audience who has a loved one whose name starts with F?
I'm feeling the letter D or
Mhm.
Oh yeah, I bet you are feeling the
E
letter
F G
D.
H I J K L M N O P.
Dang.
Ah, yes.
I wish my sound
Sorry,
effects were
involuntary
louder.
response.
I'm never going to live that one down.
One of the
No.
one of
No.
the things that I actually do love when it comes to the Sean Chan, one of the very few things, is I love that Tuan looks at Matt like he's a total idiot when he's like, "Oh yeah, ravens and mice spy for the Dark One."
Mm-hmm.
She's like, "Bro,
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Rats,
Oh my
bro.
God, how
Mice are
stupid
fine.
are you?
Rats.
Trollocs
bro.
are real. So are
Yeah, yeah.
Rigmarole.
And then she's
Like-
like, "Oh God, a spider just scurried across the floor."
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, don't put your hat on the table, okay?
Hey,
It
protect
won't.
me. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
No,
that
but
seems
again,
about
it's
right.
your
It-
rituals and your knowledge and whatnot is what you know and what you avoid and whatnot.
Ooh.
And
Mhm.
when she finds out about all of these Andorran or Randlandian or whatever, suspicions and whatnot, she's like, those sound super stupid.
Mhm. Yeah.
But did you see the way that those sticks fell yesterday when that washerwoman dropped them? Because that was ridiculous.
That was
That's
one lit
true.
omen.
Mhm.
I think you're hitting on a really good topic here in general, is just when you look at all of the rituals in general within the Wheel of Time.
Mhm.
I mean, these are they feel very occult to me. The
Mhm.
first
They do.
sister ritual, like that's crazy,
Yeah.
right?
Well,
It
and
is.
that's one of the
It
very
is.
special
Bonding.
ones. That's one of the really special ones in some ways, because again, at the beginning of this, I do think that the one power really kind of doesn't fit in the definition of a cult within the Wheel of Time.
No,
If
it's
we
Not
did
by
it
just
in
like
our
it's
world,
like flipping
it
on a light switch.
absolutely
Anybody,
would. Exactly. But the idea of like bonding warders, as you said, the idea of, or the ritual of making, people first sisters and whatnot, that really does feel
Well,
very
and
much
The ritual
like
of
it
burying
fits,
your chest
even
in the
though
hull.
it uses
Because Mask of Mirrors and Sidene doesn't exist.
right.
No,
And
but-
then
Well, they didn't know
You know.
about it at that point in time. So.
Oh yeah, of course they didn't. But
And so these bonding rituals and whatnot do use the one power, but it's this weird, like off kilter, out of
Yes.
left field use of it that like is very direct on people, leaves a lasting and like a lasting thing.
Mhm.
All of this different stuff that I would totally that one
That-
feels super
That kind of
Yes.
that kind of brings up a good point as well when you start talking about how cultish the White Tower is.
Mhm.
Because we kind of touched briefly on it about the different Ajas have secrets from each other, they play each other, they manipulate others, but probably the biggest thing that's like occultish to me is how ritualistically they restrict themselves from exploration and learning.
Mhm.
Okay, so Nynaeve comes in and she's like, guys, check it out, I can do healing with all of the weaves, and then they go, no,
you can't.
you use
You
water
think you can do these things,
and
but you can't,
spirit.
Nemo.
You don't ever use fire and earth, never. And she's like, I just healed stilling.
Mhm.
And they're like,
Avatar: The
"What?"
Last Airbender showed us there was only water and spirit.
That's right, yeah.
Stop.
So it's like, and when Elaine wants to study Terangreal, and they're like, oh hell no,
Yeah.
oh hell no.
Danger.
Yeah, exactly. So
danger will
and
happen.
it's not just and they don't say, look, it's very dangerous. Even experienced sisters are very, what they do is they say, no, you can't. Period. And they have this BS reasoning of,
Wait, but Dad,
we don't have enough
why?
Aes Sedai as it
Because
is,
we said
and you
so.
can't be careless with your life.
I
it's
think
just
that
like,
in some ways that is a
that's
valid
faulty.
point.
No, it is.
I think it's fair.
Yeah. I mean, if you're trying to
But-
protect people, at the same time, it also limits what you can do.
yes.
But when you have like these
And how much you
horrendous-
can learn.
Yeah, when you have these horrendous stories of like sisters, what is it? The one that she gets stuck in the chair of something or another for like 10 days.
My God.
And she just like spends those 10 days screaming and yelling,
agony.
and no one
Yeah.
can stop it from happening. So when Terangreals have that kind of
I
potential
agree.
result,
Well,
be
and I was gonna
worried.
say, that one right there is one of the most legit to me, because again, there are these like, okay, we don't find them very often, but every once in a while we find Terangreal from the Age of Legends. And sometimes we figure out what it
Kind of,
possibly
sort of, what it
probably
might should have
did.
done. Yep.
But other times we're like, cool. So this does this thing, probably. I mean, like the last 5 people that touched it, they said that it did this. So I guess maybe we'll use it for that. But then again, you have the horror stories of, all right, so we sent a like whole platoon of sisters through this archway, and one of them came out and she was burned out of the power and screaming her, face off. None of the rest of them came back. But see, this one of the sisters sat in this chair and she spent the next 10 days screaming her head off and whatnot. You're like, okay, I know that there are a lot of Terran out there that do awesome things and we want that stuff for us. But also,
but how did they learn about the 3 rings then for testing?
That's where you have to look at
another one of those rituals, right? Another one of those crazy rituals.
Yeah, they have to look at things like, what is the reason and rationale behind what you're doing? So,
yes,
are you doing things out of a occultist belief that this is either some kind of because we know from like our present day that any sufficiently advanced technology looks like magic to us. So there's no explanation behind it. There's no understanding behind how it works. So for the Aes Sedai and the Ashaman, there's, however limited it may be, there's an understanding for kind of what makes these things tick to some degree. So for them, these Terran that do things they don't understand how at all, these are to them magical beyond the one power because they don't know how they were made, and they might understand the fuel that makes them run, but they don't understand how you put together the engine. Point.
Yes.
So then out of pure and utter fear, they say, well, no, just don't touch them. We'll collect them. We'll keep them here. And, throughout history, that's always proven to be the safest thing for us to do. And they don't ever entertain the possibility of, let's take the ones that we know that are safe.
I would like to
somebody that seems to have a talent for figuring out what these things can do. Let's see if they can look at these ones we know are safe and accurately say, it does this, it does this, it does this, it's safe. And if they are safe, then they're the ones that make up this. In your times of trying need, you can call an elite team of Aes Sedai to test your Terran Griot. Is it safe? Is it bad?
Stories.
Call on the ballsy team.
That's right.
Well, and that's actually one of the more interesting parts of that particular thing is if you find an Aes Sedai that has any real sort of talent to go ahead and figure out what Terran Griot do, yeah, that's kind of what they're good at, and that's what you should set them to be doing. But also, that's one of your most valuable Aes Sedai. Are you going to go ahead and just throw things at them and be like, hey, figure this one out. Hey, figure this.
Yeah.
Because when that one gets completely burned out of the power, you're like, all right, cool. And now we have to wait another generation to find an Aes Sedai who can figure out Terran Griot.
Yeah, I mean, but, then you get into the moral argument is avoiding the gaining of knowledge the right thing to do out of fear of losing things. Because that's the same thing. If that was the case, I would like to finish. If that was the case, then the Large Hadron Collider would have never been a thing. Because it was heavily protested all the way through that, hey, you're going to collide 2 particles. It's going to create a black hole.
All nuclear energy plants. I mean,
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I just finished watching a story today of America's first and thus far only nuclear meltdown.
Yep.
Now, to be fair, the 3 people
to be fair. Sorry.
The 3 people they had working on it should not have been working on it.
Yeah.
Sure.
But, it's the military and you bang it with a wrench until it works. But I mean, there's so much that's gained from that, and that is.
I'm sorry, that's military thing? I thought that was just everyone.
I mean, it's mostly everyone. I mean, especially construction workers, military.
Yeah.
Just bang on it till it works. It'll be fine.
Anyone with a computer.
Only 30 things. Hey, don't fucking bang on your computer and ask me to fix it. But I mean, that's the history of human ingenuity, right? Is having somebody that is willing to weigh the value of the knowledge over the value of their safety. And that's where you get things like coal burning engines, nuclear power, flight, all those kind of things. And it just depends, like for the Aes Sedai, where do you draw the line? Do you stifle your ability to learn so much because of a tradition of don't do this or you'll die? Or do you embrace that, hey, there actually can be people that can figure this stuff out, and you facilitate that and use that and do everything you can to make it as safe as possible?
Yeah.
I really like the distinction within the Wheel of Time that we have channelers, and this is almost, I'm spotty. I think I'm spotty, but I might be, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Solid for
Okay.
us.
So we have like this established magic where channeling, it's almost commonplace. But then when you bring in some of the other things like Elias or the Wolf Brother situation, this is kind of going into this weird old magic where you've got something on a totally different scale where it's so uncommon that Perrin is scared to death of having these powers. Granted, it would be scary to be a male channeler, but
Oh,
yeah,
sure.
no,
Well,
Go ahead, Josh.
I mean, you even see that even with the gift of, the gift of being able to speak to wolves, there are issues with that as well. As we see with, what is it, Gnome, I think was the dude's name.
Yeah.
And he completely gave over to the wolf. Like he was like, I'm not a human anymore. I'm just a wolf. Leave me alone. And
bark, motherfucker.
yeah, and then you see Elias, who's just kind of like, yeah, I'm not going to go that far into it. I'm a man, and I like being a man, such to the point that I'll talk to wolves, I'll hunt with wolves, I'll live with wolves, but I'm a man. I'm not going to go into the wolf dream. No. And he kind of takes the other extreme. And then, you've got Perrin who's over there going, oh, well, what do I do?
That's weird.
But it's because there's no
half.
Yeah, there's virtually no knowledge about it. It's just what do you do?
Yep.
Yeah. Noam just says he's a wolf before he's a man.
Yeah.
The wolf dream in itself is almost an occult theme.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like the same as like Teleron Riod, because it's almost like this weird like astral projection weirdness. Do you know what I'm saying? Where your soul has kind of like, is your soul connected? Are we crossing into another realm? Are you in two places at once? And this is a very occult theme.
Well, and of course, I love that one in some ways the most, because there's definitely like Wolf Brothers who we just don't have that much information about, to be completely honest. There are 3 of them in the series. One of them we get information on, but it is still very much an enigma, Elias. Perrin, we actually see like a good deal of what he's going through, but he's also, a toddler as far as a wolf brother goes for the vast majority of the series. And then we have Gnome, who's just like, all right, by the time we get to him, he gone.
Yeah, we don't know his backstory at all.
He went full Bork. You never got full Bork.
He did.
And so, we have these 3 different examples, but we have so little information on it. And while it's awesome, and I actually really love the idea of it, and in some ways I do like the fact that we don't get as much information as I'd want, and there's definitely a lot of mystery left there around it. It seems like this very, very special thing that has nothing to do with anything else in the world.
Absolutely.
And then you have Teleran Riad, which most of the time is entered and exited by people who can channel, seemingly because they can channel. But at the same time, you also have these like flashes of people who enter and exit that can't touch the source at all and are just showing up because they stumbled into Teleran Riad at some point.
Yes.
And then you have Perrin, who's running around Teleran Riad
like a madman.
God. Like
it's just a wee
just being like,
God.
channel at all. Hopper
that
just showed me how to
balefire?
do this.
I had to tell. I was talking to Tracy the other day, and we just moved in here, and we haven't had internet, so I downloaded a bunch of movies to watch, and The Matrix was one of them. And I'm watching it, and Morpheus is explaining to Neo, like, you can basically stop, anything you want and do whatever you want while you're in the Matrix. I'm like, oh my god, is Morpheus Perrin?
Yeah, it's just a weave.
And he just
a
taught.
weave.
Yeah, he just taught him it's just a
Though
weave.
I will admit, I think it's funny that Morpheus wouldn't actually be Perrin. I feel like Morpheus would be Egwene.
No.
Knows
like Morpheus
more
would be
than
Hopper.
Neo does. No, Morpheus would be Egwene because he knows way more about Teleran Riyadh, has learned a lot of the rules of Teleran Riyadh, and then Neo shows up and he's like, I don't know what I'm doing. I think I know Kung Fu. I'll try to hit you, blah, blah, blah. But then at the end of the movie, when he's like, bullets just stop, that's when he's just like, it's just a weave, Morpheus. It's just a weave.
I love it.
Touche.
I like it. I really like that.
I
That's,
think
that's excellent.
I think we've covered a lot of like cultures and rules and things like that. I think really where we sort of start to traverse into the cult or the occult is where you stop having a culture of people that are like, this is the way we do things because this is the way it is, and we start doing things like, you can't do that. Like, does that make sense? We start to limit what people can do based on the rules and traditions that we have set.
Are you thinking of literal cults?
Well, I mean, the occult.
I think
the occult stems from the idea of what a cult is.
I actually kind of wrote something down about this that I think connects with what you're saying, it's how much. I wrote down how much of this is held up by tradition. So, like, for example, when the Spanish Inquisition happens, like in the real world, not the Wheel of Time world, it's dictated. And I don't know if they had a Spanish Inquisition. I feel like the White Cloaks are just always on go. They're not the White Cloaks, but they are. But anyway, what I think of is how one expects was the White Cloak Inquisition. How they have this focus on one thing, and it's almost like when Egwene meets Moraine, and when Nynaeve finds out that she can channel, Egwene is like, hooray, I can become an Aes Sedai. And Nynaeve is like, I'm a filthy dark friend, like but it's the tradition that she's brought up in that filthy boxes us in. And it's the same thing with traditions that have passed through centuries. Like, this is how the world is. You adapt to it. And if you do not, you are generally ostracized. So, I think what you were talking about is like, what is a society's standard of morals? What are the traditions that hold people in place? And like the occult has these exterior feelings to them. They're the people who are different. They're the people who like feel connected in a way to the world that other people just don't. I mean, I'm sure that's like a very broad and probably mostly incorrect assessment, but that's what I'm going to throw out there.
One thing that I want to add to that, which I think is also kind of important, is that typically what we have viewed as the occult in history throughout the world is traditions that come from a minority that are not understood by the majority and then demonized by the majority, like voodoo, for example. 99.9% of voodoo practitioners are doing nothing that actually hurts anyone else. But there are a few who have gone ahead and done things that have made it very, very not okay to say that you practice this particular tradition.
Are you speaking for yourself?
No.
It largely depends on region. If you go down to New
Yes.
Orleans,
Yeah.
and it's very common
Exactly.
to publicly find voodoo practitioners, and it's
Well-
not a taboo.
Mhm.
And
But
when you start
If
to
you
get
live in
into
the
a
backwoods of
situation-
South Carolina with a Christian tradition, and you mention the word voodoo, everybody starts bringing out their crosses and hissing.
Well, and I was going to say that it also very much, again, when you have a situation where those traditions are the majority,
Mhm.
then it's not really viewed as a cult.
Right.
Right.
No,
well,
I'm
with
not saying it
Christianity,
isn't
you're
what-
drinking
it
the
isn't
blood
a
of
cult.
Christ and
No.
eating the body of Christ.
Yeah, it's Catholicism.
But
sure.
if you're a
Yeah.
majority, it doesn't sound weird, right?
Christianity as a
It's
whole
what
is-
everybody
it-
does.
Yeah.
It still should sound weird.
It
but
should. Maybe that's why it was in Latin. They didn't want to freak anybody
It's even-
out.
There you
further,
go.
It's even deeper than that, because then you have
Tracy,
people that
Tracy.
believe that you're literally doing it,
Nail
and you have the people
head,
that believe
like-
it's a symbolic
Yeah.
ritual. But that gets into the ritualistic nature of the occult.
Mhm.
We
Yes.
see things like we mentioned earlier in the series that are very ritualistic in nature. The conversion, the unwilling conversion of somebody to the shadow by a circle of 13. That kind of stuff.
Compulsion.
A lot of this occult. A lot
I was
of the
thinking
common
about
perception of
compulsion
occult is ritual.
too. Yeah. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
I don't want to
no, it-
derail anyone, but yeah.
I don't
like,
think the turning works the same way as compulsion.
No, it doesn't. But
No, but I mean, like the things that can happen because you are using something in a questionable way. So, like being able to use the power to turn someone to the dark side. This is not Star Wars. Turn
I
someone
do that
over
all the
to.
time.
I know, right? Turn someone over to
The dark one.
dark one. Sure, we'll
it
do
could
that.
be Star Wars.
It could be. It'd be a really fun mashup.
Well, this is-
Tracy.
Tracy, that's
Dark.
No, this is a really good point, Tracy, because when the White Tower is first introduced, they're kind of shown in a better light than they really
Mhm.
are.
Yeah.
So you've got the White Tower, and then they're like, oh, you have to go hunt the Black Aja, and these are the
Mhm.
bad guys. So you're kind of looking at the situation with like good magic versus dark magic,
Mhm.
if that makes sense. And
Yeah, it's
compulsion,
almost the intention.
compulsion is one of those weaves that it's like that's dark magic. It's not
Mhm.
allowed. We don't touch it.
Mm-hmm.
So this is one of those. It's like.
then
Yeah,
maybe
I have to admit, I don't
I'm sorry.
know if I actually agree with that one. Because while they do call them the Black Aja, and they definitely are called the Black Aja because they serve evil,
Mhm.
I feel like that's more of just a lawful thing than an actual good or evil thing. Because again, in the real world, I mean, there are examples
but
of
black.
that as well, as far as like, okay, you're capable of doing this, but don't, because taking away people's free will is not what we do. I think that in that case, compulsion is just magic. It's just one of those things where it's like, sure, you can do this, but don't, because fuck you.
But
Not
that's
like
the same connotation
evil.
with what's good magic and what's black magic. It's
Mhm.
just
well, but in the Wheel of Time, I think there is actually a distinction, because the one power is a source that is sort of created in life, presumably by the creator, and is sort of the font of magic for everyone to use that people have access to. Yet there's also the true source that they talk about that comes directly from the Dark One.
That's a falsity. It is the true source through the Dark One that is inherently bad. Because
So
the
can
true
you access
source,
the true source without
is
the
the
Dark
power
One?
that actually turns
Yeah, I was
the
going to say,
Wheel of Time.
but
it is
can
a-
you access the true source without going through the Dark One?
If the creator was as active in his world as the Dark One was, sure.
Hmm.
Okay,
Well,
Do
so
we see
fair
the
enough,
creator as like an
but I feel
absent
like
parent?
that's
The
That is
Dark
kind
One
of-
is like a massive, like beyond Saw Angreal. for
so
the true
I will
source.
say that I want to say that my point in some ways still
The point still
stands,
stands, but
even though you are that
the
is
semantics
that,
of it are different.
the semantics are absolutely different.
Yeah,
but I think that's kind
yeah,
of
but
the
black
difference,
magic is
that-
just magic used for evil. Like,
Mhm.
But I
that's
I'll
it.
but it's
say
used,
dark
in
magic.
this one it's used
Sounds more
through
sinister.
evil
Yeah.
rather than just for evil.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
like anything.
If that
I have
makes
a
sense.
I have a fork. I can use this fork for really good
Do
things.
you?
For good,
Like
or I
eating,
can use this fork
or
for bad.
I can give over to
I
the
know, I'm like,
shadow,
do you have a
What-
fork?
and I can
Tell us.
stab
Fork
people in
for
the
Andrew.
face. I mean,
Or stabbing some
'Cause-
bitches.
Darth
'cause all
fork.
that is
But yeah, that doesn't
all
make
that
the
is available is a
evil.
pool of
It
magic.
makes
It's the
Andrew-
nature of how the
Yeah.
person uses it that makes it good or bad.
Exactly.
And there are practices like compulsion that are morally accepted as dark magic, as forcing somebody to do things against their will.
Yeah.
Well, I just
But then
kind
you
of
can-
wanted to bring that back to like real world occultism, you know, where like when witches are
You mean strong,
I mean-
educated women?
Are we drinking straight from the bottle tonight, Tracy?
I think she is. I think she's
Whoa,
got
it
the
should
bottle.
be.
She has a little glass.
okay,
Tracy.
no,
Champagne,
okay.
Tracy? Is it
It's
champagne,
super
Tracy?
pretty.
Tracy,
Yeah,
be careful.
it's-
Remember what happened last time, okay?
So
Exactly.
classy.
Why do you think I have a tiny, tiny glass?
She's got a thimble of wine.
It is tiny intentionally.
it's
That
so
doesn't
pretty,
mean this
though.
might not be empty. Thank you.
See, I
found
try
it
to
in a
make
thrift
mine
store
blend
for
into the
$1.
background, so you can't even tell that
Oh.
I'm drinking. Just
Hmm.
Well,
Oh, wait, I
I
see
got
it.
the
Oh,
Kona.
go on.
Golden ale.
I
one of
noticed-
my
See,
co-hosts.
Daniel's horn is just amazing.
Yeah, I love
Well,
it.
So Andrew and Josh and I actually each have one of these that were given to
Aw.
us by Andrew.
That's so
as
nice.
a
Those are really
1
pretty.
year or actually a 2-year anniversary.
I use mine
Not
every morning to
fast,
take
but-
my medication with.
So funny. I love it.
Nice.
like a
That would
Viking.
be me. Yeah.
Oh,
I
I've
take
got
my.
to be
I'm
stable
gonna
for the
nip
day.
this arthritis in the bud like a
I'm not quite
badass.
that old. Jesus Christ. Amber.
Oh my god! The funniest part about that.
Hey,
I don't
arthritis can be
actually
any
know
age,
how
okay?
This is
Tracy
true.
Right?
Tracy or Amber
Arthritis
are,
is
and
just
I am
a
not
number.
going to
Hey,
ask.
I'm not that old.
I legitimately think that Andrew is the youngest person on the screen right now.
Are you? How old are? Can we do this? How old are you? Do we want-
27.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I was just curious.
I don't know how old Tracy and Amber are, and I'm not going to ask.
You can.
Ask them that.
You can.
But
I don't have any issues with my age.
I am pretty sure that Andrew is the youngest person.
Andrew's youngest, and I'm gonna guess that I'm probably the oldest.
I
Okay.
don't know about that.
How old are you?
I turned 40 in March.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, see, Daniel
right.
and I knew the answer because we were there when he got shot in the back. with
It's
nickels.
true. I
We
got
were there
shot
when
in
he
the
got-
face with a confetti cannon.
Oh,
You
Oh,
did.
by the way,
all I heard is when you got shot in the face, and I was like,
Yes.
"Jesus,
Oh my
what
god.
happened?"
Yeah,
It was
did you not
terrible.
know? That's a Utah tradition. You
Yeah.
turn 40. and they shoot you.
Turn 40, you get shot in the face, and then we hire the Kardashians as plastic surgeon.
No, his cheek isn't like blown out like a balloon. It's definitely not the Kardashians.
My
No, the
So
facial one, not the booty one.
I was gonna
the
say,
hamburger-
it just looks like he has a big.
But just
diaper
wait till you see
booty.
Josh in his yoga pants.
Hey.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
It'll be once he shaves his legs.
Hooray.
It'll have to be. No, the food truck that came, they got a video of the confetti cannon moment, and I was able to see
Excellent.
who shot me in the head with the confetti.
Ooh.
And they caught it on camera.
I don't
They're
think
never
it was
invited
me.
to your place again.
No, they're invited over
Jerks.
every day. Josh was into that.
Joke's on you. I'm into that shit.
I like it.
But yeah, so I think that I'm going to bring up a new example of a cult, and you guys
Ooh,
can
I
agree
thought you were
or
going to say
disagree.
Newegg, and I was like, I don't like Newegg
Yes.
right now.
No,
Their
I
shuffle
was
sucks
not
ass.
going to go ahead and do
Aw.
that.
Fuck you and your graphics card shuffle, Newegg. I don't ever want to be
So I
sponsored
was-
by you.
I was going to say but Raid Shadow Legends, let us know. No,
Oh,
just
yeah. Come on. We post videos
But I
on
was
YouTube
gonna
Tonight's
because we
episode is
inherently
brought to
get
you by
our
Raid
Legends, right?
Shadow Legends.
The bubbles of evil,
Mm.
and specifically Hinderstap, I actually think are probably like the most occult, if you will, things in the series to me. Because I think that they are like basically an entity that is very supernatural.
Absolutely.
Very like
That-
sporadically inputting their will.
Just
on-
respawning.
Yeah.
Every day.
Well, see, the bubbles of evil come and pass, but Hinderstaps is like
Yes, that one's like a
it's like a
permanent
shadow
bubble.
dingleberry. It just doesn't go away. Somebody needs to go in with some scissors.
An accurate.
There you go.
Wow.
Trim it.
There's your mental image for the night.
Thank you.
Very visual.
In the age
Yeah.
of lace, there lay many dingleberries.
Oh.
I
Yeah,
regret
but this
everything I
is-
just said.
I regret everything you just said.
They have absolutely no control over the situation. They have like temporary insanity, but very aggressive, and then just wake up and have to know that it's gonna keep going on over and over. This is something from a horror movie, and it's out there, and I love it.
Yeah.
And when
I
they come
think-
back for the last
Oh
battle,
my god. That part was so good. So
yes, that pays
Yes.
off so well.
Sorry.
It really does.
I really
It's
can't
such
wait
a-
for somebody to be at that part in the reread and be like, I just read the dingleberries again.
It will happen. It will
I'm
happen.
almost there, Andrew.
You can cleanse your Tate as much as you want, but they just keep coming back.
That's true.
Get this man some wet wipes.
So there's really like is there Hmm.
It's
So there's
funny.
really
Hey, you broke Josh again.
Poor Josh.
nicely done, Amber. Nicely done. I don't think we've actually broken Josh this bad in a while.
In case you didn't know, if you manage to break all three of us at the same time, you get a special role in the Discord.
Oh,
Ooh.
it's true.
Yes, that's true.
Only one person has it, and that's Marshadi.
Get this man some wet wipes. All I could see was T'Challa. Get this man a shield. And get this man some wet wipes.
Get this man a shield. Get me my brown pants.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
It
so,
hurts.
so registered nerd
It
in the live
does.
chat brought up Hinderstap potentially being terrifying. I think it's terrifying from an outside perspective. I think if you're in it at some point,
It just
You-
becomes
I
commonplace.
mean,
Yeah.
I don't want to say like, yeah, it's common, but like initially, I think there would be a lot of just like the one-off time you wake up from being blackout drunk, and you've got 47 missed calls, 16 voicemails, and there's a cop car outside, and you're just like, fuck.
Well, Matt
happened?
experiences they're somewhat like they're kind of in a like depressive state when he's
Yeah.
going around, and they're all just kind of like shuffling around,
Mhm.
Yeah,
and he's
but
like,
for
"There's
them-
something not right. Something's
Mhm.
not right here."
Yeah.
Yeah, something's
These
not
clothes
right.
have been
Let's
mended
stay
way
here and
too
figure out
many
what it
times.
is.
That was what I
That's-
was thinking, and like repairs on buildings and stuff seem to
Mhm.
be like happening pretty much everywhere as
So-
they were walking around, you
It's a
know.
problem of living in an
And-
age without horror movies. Anybody that's watched horror movies would see that shit and be like, nope,
Nope.
gone.
Not
Well,
going in that basement.
So I will actually say that I think that there's I think that there are actually 3 levels of that again for the people who are living through it, which is the initial of what the fuck keeps happening. I'm actually a little scared at this point because every day there's new stuff that's a mess, and I don't know how it happened, and I don't know how it got this way, and all of that different stuff. And then there's the oh, this is our life now.
Yeah.
This is incredibly depressing, and as Registered Nerd just said, I think she brings up a really good point that between, like, after the initial shock of, oh, I don't even know what's going on yet.
Mhm.
Once you actually figure that out, now it's when is this gonna stop?
Yeah.
Will it ever stop?
When is it that I'm going to wake up and everyone I murdered is going to be dead permanently? When is this going to stop that I'm not gonna wake up because all of my neighbors' murders are going to stick permanently, you know, that kind of thing. And they haven't quite crossed over into the third one yet of the Bill Murray and Groundhog Day of, oh, this is never stopping. I can just literally do whatever I want, and it's just going to be forever. And there's some acceptance and, you know, sort of like contentment in some ways. I mean, like, it's a horrible contentment. I'm not saying that it's fully content, but there is still, you know, acceptance,
Like
and
a we're
with
dealing
the-
with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
with
Well,
the like,
the-
this is just life now and let's make the best of it. We're not actually really scared about our murders and, you know, whatnot becoming permanent, because if they are, I mean, we've lived through them so many times, death might actually even be a release. But, like, you know, until that point, I'm going to be as happy as I possibly can with the current bad situation because I'm kind of free. Like,
The only critique I really have is when they wake up, they don't remember what happened. So nobody knows if they actually murdered anybody
They
for
just
sure or not.
see the destruction.
I mean,
Flash,
you can
well,
see
this is in
indicators,
their
like-
nightmares as well. They have
Yeah.
they have the dreams.
yeah. Which I take your point and I completely agree. I mean, there's definitely a certain amount of inference
Well, the
they can
uncertainty
make,
is
but
terrifying.
at the same, yes, exactly. That's definitely still the, oh shit, what did I do? What if what I did becomes permanent?
Yes.
But it's a great way to solve problems with your neighbors whose cows keep, like, just grazing on your fields. Just be like, you know what?
Just-
Yeah.
That guy!
After
Wait
tomorrow,
until
we'll assume we
tonight.
settled it.
I'll see you tonight, buddy.
Exactly. Just be
I love it.
waiting.
I think the dreams are more like flashes of anything,
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
the whole
they-
point
they
of, like,
definitely
their
talk about
turmoil is
Yeah.
that they as individuals are returned to the state they were when this curse started. Less so of it's a new day every day. For them, it's you do this and outside world continues on, but within the events may not be the same every night, but yeah.
That's a good one.
But if you're going to commit a
That's
murder, do it in Hindersnap, because in the next morning
Right.
they'll be alive and
It
you
won't
can't be
matter.
charged for a murder that didn't
Immunity.
happen.
Immunity.
Just freaking Dexter just shows up in Hinderstaff.
Becomes the
Oh my
anger
God, it's
management
the
capital of
perfect
the world.
place.
Matt shows up in his Hinder's tap. Oh, I recognize you. Aren't you the ice truck killer?
Yeah, isn't this place great?
Oh man.
Mm.
Spoilers for Dexter.
I hope that after the last battle in the Dark One was sealed again, I really hope that those people were able to get some sleep.
Right?
Like-
Right?
Damn. And we never
That's
do
a good
find out.
Point.
They just wake up the next morning and there's like 7 people that walk out like nothing, see dead bodies, and they're like, okay.
Well, that's what I was literally about to say. Like, again, this is one of those moments that you kind of don't 100% want to think about, because all of those people from Hinderstep were kind of like fighting Trollocs with impunity.
Yeah.
Right?
And
I mean, if you have to be stuck in a Groundhog Day,
Heals the boar back up and puts the Dark One to bed again, and that bubble of evil wears off, and all of those people don't wake up tomorrow as they were fighting Trollocs with impunity. That's a little sad to think about in some ways.
but if you
It's
do have to be
dark,
stuck
but
in a
it-
Groundhog Day, this one is like one of the better because it's very localized. You can
Yes.
still interact with the outside world. You still learn things that happen it seems everybody keeps their memories of what's going on in the trade and everything. So
Yeah.
it's like a very localized private server edition of Groundhog Day.
Yes.
Which I do agree they should release a Groundhog Day 2 and just re-release the original film.
Oh my god, that would be awesome. That would be. I would watch that. I would go to the theater and
Me
give it
too.
all of my money.
All of your Dogecoin money?
All of my Dogecoin, which I'm very happy
Ah.
right now, by the way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
fuck
of
off.
course you are.
Fuck off. I'm very happy with what I have, considering that
Good.
I liquidated my assets and moved them into another
I'm not
asset.
liquid. I'm not liquid.
I didn't know we were dating.
Aw.
Whoa!
I said
What?
liquid date, and she said she's not liquid, so the only other part of that word is dating. I was very confused.
Sure, yeah. I don't know if your husband.
Still confused. Just gonna sit here.
He just
Ah.
brought me a
I saw
like
that.
off
That was so
screen
sweet.
magic rum and coke.
Aw.
Yes.
Thank you, Simon. You're so nice.
Yeah.
He
See,
can't hear me.
I know he can't hear it. Doesn't matter. It's the thought that counts.
Yeah.
you know what?
I've been
I
considering
think-
texting Andrew for a coffee. Hey, Andrew.
I feel like
Can you?
I feel like I
Specifically-
might accept a husband if he just made me rum and cokes. Like I'm not actually gay at
Come
all.
on up here, baby.
There he is. All
I
right,
think-
cool.
I'll have to tell
I think
Simon.
Adrian
Yeah.
would be okay with that too. That's the weirdest
She-
part.
She'd be down for it. She'd be like, sweet.
Sister
More the
husbands.
merrier.
That's why I'm excited for October of this year, because I'm hoping Adrian comes with you, and for once somebody can serve me drinks in North Carolina that I don't have to immediately complete a transaction for.
The back story
That's
I
an
like
oddly
it. You didn't
specific
actually
there
thing
say
is
to be
that
looking
she
forward
was a
to.
mixologist.
Yeah.
I heard 6
She
different
is
people, which
actually
is
a
weird.
Really, yeah, she is an mixologist.
Oh yeah.
She was the mixologist who mixed up all of our Gathering Madness drink submissions.
That's really fun. I like
She
that.
also came up with 7 different shots.
Good lord.
One for
7
each
Aja shots.
And we only made it through like 5 of them because we had so many other drinks.
No, I
And
couldn't
at
do
some
that.
point, she was just like, all right,
It was
cool. Here
awesome.
is the gray Aja, and that's the last one. And we were like, cool, that sounds great. I don't know how we made it through 7, but that sounds awesome. And then the next morning, she was like, yeah, you didn't make it through 7. I fucking won." And I was like, that makes more sense.
And thank you. Yeah.
And thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah, thank you.
For sure.
My
I-
whole body
Thank
is
you.
already mad at me so much because I ate a lot of hot sauce and drank a lot of alcohol. And it just got
was a
that
lot.
much
It
worse.
was a
So
lot.
the, was it the
Would've been
fermented?
sad.
Was it the fermented hot sauce, Josh?
It was not.
I don't think
Okay.
we did the
It
fermented
was
one.
not. It
Shame.
was we did like we did the
did
hot ones the last
5
day.
of them.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
we
last
did
dab.
a Taste the Taint challenge,
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
which is our you eat various hot sauces of various varieties.
Yeah.
Um,
But
on
now that you
Wait.
mention that though, I should definitely make some for this October.
Yes.
yeah.
yes, you definitely. If we had homemade taint, I would put Josh's taint in my mouth.
Hopefully we actually have them in
Wow.
the correct
Joke's
order of
on you.
hotness.
My taint is always homemade.
That's not surprising.
Hmm.
BTP OnlyFans.
BTP
Oh.
this week.
You know what, guys?
Daniel
Thank you
with Josh's
so much
taint.
for being here today.
Oh, you're welcome.
Always so much fun to have you guys here.
Thanks.
It is fantastic.
It's like coming home. Like coming
Yeah.
home.
It is.
We kind
One of
of
those
You guys are
situations
awesome.
where we sometimes get to like an hour and it's like depending on our topic and depending on whatever. I love these guys. Let me be very, very clear about that. But you get to it at the end of an hour and you're like, all right, I'm done. I can
I'm out of here.
Sometimes we have topics that we just don't want to stop, and we're already at like 2 hours. And we're like, oh,
Elaine, 5 episodes.
But then, like, Road to Tar Valon joins us, and I'm like, can we just go for like 6 hours?
Can we just keep going? Can we just keep
Still going. Still
Yeah.
You
holding.
know what? I would say yes, but I do have other things I have to do.
Yeah, I
But
want to
wait,
have
so
dinner with
there's
my
more.
family.
See, I will throw
And
out
it's
there
like
that,
almost midnight for Amber.
that had someone not, decided to do this as a complete surprise, the other two of us might have been able to clear our
Clear out
But
what?
dead.
Our schedules.
Our
Oh,
schedules.
well, thank you
But
for
it's
arranging your
sad.
We're pushing it
schedules.
enough for Mother's Day weekend.
Oh, I know. I mean, I don't know what you guys have on your end, but like for me, Mother's Day is like,
So
my family
So-
treats me really good all the time. So like a
Aw.
day, I'm not kidding. So a day where it's
Aw.
like for me, I'm like, all right, whatever.
Yeah.
Thanks,
My mom's birthday is like always within the week of Mother's Day.
Aw.
So
Do you have to
Is
get her a
l-
double gift?
so
No, they
the
just
deal,
celebrate.
one
birthday.
really big gift.
the deal I have with her is I either get her
last year there were 37.
All right, Dudley. The deal I have with her is that I will generally either get her 2 moderate to small gifts
Mhm.
or 1 really big gift. And since
Good
I'm not
deal.
going home to see Mom this weekend, I'm going next weekend. She's getting the Mother's Day gift late, but her birthday gift early.
Aw.
And the gift notes
Meets in
I've
the middle.
attached is
Mhm.
You're
sorry
gonna
for
walk
being
in
late
and
for
say,
Mother's Day,
I am.
but hopefully being early for the birthday makes it
He
for-
says that wearing a Chippendale shirt. So
I also love how it's like an actual Chippendale shirt. It's
Yep.
not
not
Josh,
just.
we
it's
figured
like
out how to
a
make
fake
up for
tuxedo
how
or
long
anything.
it's taken to get your leg shaving video out. We'll do it in the style of the Chippendales dancer video.
Ooh. I'll check that out.
We'll
I
have to,
will
so
we'll have
not
to
be
do
we're
stopped.
that.
I will-
ending
I'll be
off
the
where we
cameraman.
began.
Yeah,
Right?
Chippendales, leg shaving,
Love it.
utter
Perfect.
ridiculousness.
Full circle.
Thanks everyone for being here. Thanks
Perfection.
everyone for listening and tuning in. Thanks
Absolutely.
for being awesome. Thanks Amber and Tracy for being here. You guys are awesome. If you
Thanks
want more
for having
information
us.
about the Black Tower or you want some sweet
Aw.
merch like this here mug here, go to blacktowerpod.com where our merch stores are hanging out, just waiting for you to come check them out. And Amber and Tracy, I believe you guys have a beautiful merch store as well. Where can the people find that?
Yeah. With the as Instagram quotes, you guys have a ton of super pretty designs.
They're awesome.
They're really
They're
good.
pretty.
Yeah.
They are. They're really cool.
It's
So where can the people go if they
Is
want
it
their
Road
own
to
Road
Tar
to
Valon?
Tarvalon?
threadless.
Yeah,
I
if you
always
just
forget what order it's in.
if you just Google Road to Tar Valon and threadless, it'll show
It'll pull
up.
up.
There it
Yeah,
is, right there.
Yeah.
Feels like a search I
mean-
would have done in middle school.
Oh,
Like the threadless
You're
part. I wouldn't have searched Road
welcome.
to Tarvalon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but there are some really great designs. Amber does the majority of our designs, and they're just beautiful. And by majority, I mean all. You've done all of our designs. Yeah, I love that. I just
So
like I slide
to
in and
make
like
sure-
put pick like colors in the background every once in a while. We'll write out like descriptions
Aw.
and tags occasionally, but it's like at least 90% Amber on our threadless side. You do a great job.
You know what
and
we
just
need
to make
do?
sure it is in this order for all of the people listening, it is road to tarvalon.threadless.com.
Thank you.
Boom.
Thanks, Daniel.
That was so
Of course.
nice.
You know
Now
what we
you're
They
gonna
did,
need?
sit
and they
there.
were also 100% correct. If you just Google
Mhm.
road to Tarvalon threadless, it's
And leave it
just
on all
pops
searches,
up.
not images, you dirty bastards.
No,
That's right.
you can sit there and scroll through all of our fun designs, and I mean, really, like the stuff that we've gotten from there has been really nice. Like, I've been pretty happy with everything so far.
You
Nice.
know what we need to do?
the pranksters and pillow friends is pretty sassy.
I like that one. That's on my list of like next things to get. I'm just not sure which one I need more coffee mugs and more travel mugs because all
Traci
of my
doesn't
pictures
need more coffee mugs.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I actually just bought one the other day and I should stop buying them. But for anybody who's a Bob's Burgers fan, does anybody watch Bob's
Nice.
Burgers?
How you doing?
Like, I just love this one. It's an acquired taste that I just acquired. It's the one where Tina like discovers espresso. I'm sorry, Bob's Burgers runs in our family, like in our house all the
Perfect.
time. Yeah,
It
it's
runs
Arthur's
in our
favorite.
family.
It's
Bob's
Arthur's
Burgers
favorite show.
Just runs in our veins.
You think I'm joking? You think
Hit
I'm
me
joking?
with that burger.
I'm
Well,
pretty sure
we
we
need
watch
to
it
get-
daily.
Thanks for-
Anyway,
thanks
too
for
we need
many
to
coffee
get a
talking
mugs.
version of your logo
Bob's
that we can
Burger
put on a Frosty mug.
podcast.
Because I want to roll the
Ooh.
Tar Valon Frosty mug.
Yes.
Cool.
You do need to get a Tar Valon Frosty
Get
mug.
that
Road to Tar
Frosty
Valon.
mug money.
Okay. I mean, if you
That's-
insist.
That's
If you
at
find
New
a way.
Creations by Jen.
Everybody loves merchandise, and one of the best possible places to go and get yourself some really dope Wheel of Time inspired and themed merchandise is, of course, newcreationsbyjen.com. So whenever you go to newcreationsbyjen.com, whether you're looking for just Wheel of Time inspired stuff or not, you can find all kinds of really cool merchandise and goodie opportunities, all the way from gifts for your family, friends, significant others, whoever have you, newborns, children, toddlers, women, men, adults, anybody that wants anything, you can find something for them for sure on New Creations by Jen. Now, most of you listening are going to be looking for Wheel of Time stuff. And the easiest way to find it is to go to the catalog section on New Creations by Jen, where you can see the groups of stuff for us at Black Tower Podcast, Malkir Talks, Talking Around Riyadh, Will Reads, The Will Weaves, and Weekly Will News. So you can find all of this stuff, and you can browse and look at all the different kinds of things that each content creator that is a part of New Creations by Jen's has taken and asked Jen and Rob to put up on the site. Obviously, we're going to use ours as an example so that you can go in and look at Black Tower Podcast stuff, because we are the Black Tower Podcast. So if you go on, you can get our Two Rivers Sniper shot glass as well as Two Rivers Sniper shirt. It's available on a red shirt. So you can go on and you can get our Frosty mug, which is one of the Frosty mug collectibles. Each Wheel of Time content creator that is on New Creations by Jen has a Frosty mug that you can go in and get for yourself. So after you get ours, make sure you get the others and get the entire set and join the Frosty Mug Society. Of course, there's more than just Frosty mugs and little shot glasses, and there's plenty of different kinds of shirts with different designs on them from all of the different content creators. Of course, you can find ours where you can get our logo in black and white on a shirt. I have one myself. It's fantastic and I love it. Jen and Rob do an amazing job of working with not only their customers, but the content creators that they help support with this amazing and very good quality merchandise. So if you have not head over to New Creations by Jen and gotten yourself something dope, make sure you go and do that. Again, it's newcreationsbyjen.com. I can only guarantee 2 sales.
I think I can handle that.
Me and
That's a good
Traci.
start. Yeah.
I mean, if you include
can
you two,
guarantee
then I can
4.
guarantee 4.
Me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe 5. Maybe 5 with Daniel tossing in his hat.
Yeah, there you go. We're gonna make it big, Amber, with support
Love
like
it.
this.
There you go.
All right, guys.
All right.
I'm gonna go eat food. This was awesome.
Yeah, you go do that.
All right, guys. Well, as we all know here at the Black Tower Podcast, not everything that is touched by the shadow is lost. And that is totally true for the great Blight.com. Now, Nablus and his team have done an amazing job of going ahead and putting this together, and it is possibly the greatest resource for those of us here in the Wheel of Time community. First off, you have this awesome homepage with posts from a bunch of your favorites. You can go and check out new things that you've never seen before, keep up to date on content creators that you already follow, and just go ahead and dip as many of your toes or your entire foot as you want into all of the different things that are going on. Now, also here, there is probably the best list of content creators. There's YouTubers, podcasters, artists, musicians, just about everything you could want. And if you don't see your favorite content creator there, that's fine. There is an application included in the site to go ahead and make sure that your favorite content creator is part of it. Just encourage them to fill out the application, and Nameless will be in touch. Now, after you've gone ahead and checked that out, you're going to want to pop over to the ever-expanding library here at the Great Blight, because it is something particularly special. Now, I don't know how many times I've gone ahead and joined a fandom only to find out halfway through my first read, looking up a character, that they die in the second to last book, which sucks. It always is very disappointing when you can't look up anything interesting about what you've read for fear of things that you haven't read yet. But they've fixed the problem over at thegreatblight.com. It is a spoiler-free wiki. That's right. That means that if you've only read up to Path of Daggers and you really want to find out what in the world you missed about Egwene because there's something you just don't understand, or if you want to get more information about Rand because you think he's super cool, you don't need to read past Path of Daggers, and it's not going to ruin you on a Memory of Light before you've gotten there. You'll know exactly where to stop. You'll know exactly where you are. And once you're done with that, make sure that you go ahead and help the site out, the content creators out, everything like that, with the beta nature of it. Up here at the top, you're going to see a problem, have a suggestion button. That is specifically for if you have any issues with the site or if you have any feedback. It's only something that we can make better with feedback and with help from the community. So come on down, check it out. Grab a couple of our videos or grab a couple of our podcasts, and we'd love to see you there.
Thanks everyone for being here.
Thanks for
everyone
having
for
us.
listening.
Yeah,
thanks for
you.
being here, guys. You guys we freaking love you guys. Keep doing what you're doing.
I love you
Thanks.
too.
You guys too. Indeed.
And to everybody out there, who's here, who's not here, we thank you for listening. I have been Josh.
As opposed to
No, it's
As opposed to me being Andrew.
okay.
Which you are.
Okay. I was just checking.
and as opposed to me being Daniel, which
Okay.
I am. And from all of us here at the Black Tower and for those on the road to Tar Valon. We hope
Thank
that
you and
you
good
are
night.
having a lovely, lovely day. We hope that you're getting everything that you want this morning. And in case we don't see you again, good afternoon, good evening, and
Good night.
Oh my God!